I'm proud to call him my husband and the next governor of Wisconsin. Let me introduce Tom Barrett.
Good morning. Good morning, Democrats. It's great to be here. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. It's great to be here. Thank you very, very much. I think you all got a little glimpse of the Barrett family. You can see we're a real family. We have the challenges that every family in this state has. And if it weren't for Chris, I wouldn't be able to be here today. And I want to give thanks to Chris, who has been wonderful and does a great job. And I love her dearly, and she does 98% of the work at home, in case there's any question as to who does the work at the Barrett household. But we are a team, and our family is a team. Our three daughters are with us today. Unfortunately, our oldest, our son, is studying on a class trip in Germany. He's not able to be here with us today, but we are very, very happy. All the Barrett girls are happy to be here this morning as well. I also want to give tribute to Herb Cole and thank him for all the great work that he does for the state of Wisconsin. As you know, Herb is not a grandstander. He goes to Washington, D.C. He fights for the people of the state of Wisconsin day in and day out, and we owe him a huge debt of gratitude. Let's give it up for Herb Cole. Oh. I also want to give a special tribute to Dave Obey. Many of us have known Dave for years. Few of us have gotten the honor of serving with him. And I had the honor of serving with Dave Obey for 10 years as a member of the United States House of Representatives. And what I saw was nothing short of spectacular. He is a man who for 41 years in the United States House of Representatives and 7 years before that in the State Assembly fought for the working men and women in this state day in and day out. And he never, ever forgot his roots. He never forgot the people of central and northern Wisconsin, and we are going to miss him in the United States House of Representatives. Thank him for his years of... And best wishes to Julie Lassa, who's going to do a great job winning that seat as well. But most of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone who is here today. Because working together, we have achieved some successes, some notable successes in the state of Wisconsin. And those of us who are fortunate enough to be elected to public office sometimes forget that it is the people who make the phone calls. It is the people who distribute the literature, who put up the lawn signs. And even more importantly than that, it's the people who in their daily lives do what is necessary to move this state forward. You are those people, and I thank you for everything that you have done. Everything you have done to move the great state of Wisconsin. And we have had some victories. Look at education. That could not have been done without the help of people in this room. Thank you for that help. The Badger Care program, a program that allows people with low income to get the health care that my wife, Chris, talked about. That couldn't be done without your support and your encouragement and your prodding to make sure that we as a society provide health care to the neediest in our state. Badger Care could not have been done without your help. Jobs, or as I like to put it, jobs, 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 jobs. We all know that that is the issue today. We all know that that is the issue for this year. We all know that government does not create jobs, that the private sector creates jobs. But if government is a partner and works with business, we can achieve more successes. And we've done that. We've done that in Milwaukee. If you've come to Milwaukee, take a look at that valley just east of Miller Park. That's an area that was a wasteland for decades. It is no longer a wasteland. The Menominee Valley is now filling with jobs. And it's filling with jobs because we were proactive, we were aggressive, we did everything we could to talk about the great strengths of this state. We never once ran down this state. We never once criticized this state because this is all about getting things done. And we were able to get things done because we worked together. We did something unprecedented in southeastern Wisconsin. We brought the city, the suburbs, and the rural areas together to help create jobs. Why did we do that? Because we knew that we were in a world economy, that the competition is fierce, and that fighting against each other was not the winning ticket, that the winning ticket is working together. And as the governor of this state, I want to work with people, and I want to get things done. But here's what's important. We did that. We worked on education, on health care and jobs, not because of party affiliation. We did it because it was the right thing to do. And whether it was a Democratic idea or a Republican idea, it was the right thing to do. We did it because we knew it would make a difference in people's lives. And that's what this is all about. This is real stuff. This is not an ideological war. This is what can we do to improve the lives of people who live in the state of Wisconsin. Now, every election, whether it's dog catcher or president, is about choices. It's about values. It's about which values we are going to embrace as a people, and what's important to us, and what is important to our families. That's what it is. It's choices. And we have choices this year all over the map. We have a choice whether we're going to have a governor who is going to fight every day for the middle-class people of this state, for the working people of this state, for the people who have been hammered by this recession, or are we going to have a governor who's going to do everything he can to reward the wealthiest people in this state with tax cuts? That's the choice we have. That is the choice we are facing right now. We have a choice between candidates who don't care whether companies create jobs in this state, but want to reward them with tax cuts regardless of their obligations to this state. Or we have a candidate who wants to target tax cuts to actually creating jobs in the state of Wisconsin. I want to target tax cuts to companies that create jobs in the state of Wisconsin because the state of Wisconsin needs more jobs where people can support their families. It needs more jobs where men and women can be paid the same. It needs more jobs where people can have respect and make sure that their kids need what they need what they get. We have another choice. We all know that we have difficult times here in the state of Wisconsin. Just like every other state, we are facing a structural deficit. We're in an economic downturn unlike anything we have seen in our lives. It's a very serious issue. We have a $2.3 billion structural deficit. But again, we are not alone. But we have a choice here. We can have people who are going to come in and have an administration and make the responsible, grown-up decisions. Or we can have candidates, like we have on the other side of the aisle, whose first course of action is to increase that structural deficit from $2.3 billion to $4.1 billion overnight. That's what they're talking about. That's the tax policy they are advocating. And this is about the most serious choice we have. Because if you are concerned about education, if you are concerned about property taxes, if you are concerned about local law enforcement, what do you think is going to happen if we have a $4.1 billion structural deficit? You talk about cuts in the basic services that we need in this state. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that they want, at a time when we have a $2.3 billion structural deficit, to overnight transform that into a $4.1 billion structural deficit. So it's a choice. But there are other choices. We have a choice between having a governor who supports science and the world-renowned scientists we have at the University of Wisconsin. Men and women who have dedicated their lives to finding cures for autism, diabetes, Parkinson's, through stem cell research. We have a choice. We can continue down that route where the state of Wisconsin is admired because we understand how important it is. Or we can allow ideologues to shut that science down for purely political reasons. That is the real choice we have before us today. And people have to understand that choice. These are important, important decisions. And we have to face up to what our responsibilities are. And that's what I will do as a governor of this state. Now, I want to talk about a gap, a serious gap that we have right now as well. It's called the substance gap. It's called the substance gap because in this campaign, we have one campaign who has put out a 67-page document on economic growth, a 22-page document on cutting waste in government with specifics. Specifics that some of you may like and some of you don't like. Specifics that are hard because all challenges are hard, because the status quo is never an accident. But I've put forth those plans because I believe that the people in this state deserve to have candidates who have substance and are willing to tackle the tough issues that face us right now. But what do we get from the other side? Two candidates who have been in this campaign much longer than I have. One candidate who said, I'm not going to give you details of spending cuts. I want to stay at 10,000 feet. I've got news for you. It's time to get out of the clouds and come down here and start talking about what you're going to cut, because you're going to impact people's lives. We have another candidate who's been traveling around the state and has been running for this job for 5 years, who just yesterday said he'll let us know what his spending cuts are before November 2nd. Thank you very much. It's time to put an end to the empty bags and the empty rhetoric, because people want real solutions. They want people who are going to deal with our problems, because they are real-world problems that we have to deal with, and we have to deal with them now. You know, the Democratic Party is often called the Big Ten Party because we come from all walks of life. We have people here from farms, from small communities, from colleges, teachers, firefighters, people in small business, people from large cities. We welcome everyone, unlike the other party, where there appears to be more and more some sort of correctness test as to whether they'll even allow you into the meeting. And why do we do that? We do that because we know that what brings us together is far more than what separates us. That's the beauty of this state. Our values bring us together. What I find when I travel throughout the state is pretty straightforward. In every community I've been to, you know what I've seen? I've seen people who want first and foremost for their kids and their grandkids and their nieces and nephews to get a good education. They understand the importance of education in every part of the state. They understand that education in the United States of America has always provided that ladder of opportunity that allows each generation to do as well, if not better, than the previous generation. I see that in every community. That's what binds us together. I see people who want to have jobs where they can support their families. And my promise to you is from day one, I'm going to do everything I can to retain, create, and attract jobs for the state of Wisconsin, because that's what I need. I'll tell you what else I see. I see people who want to have health care, particularly for their children and their aging parents. They want to have health care that's affordable and accessible. They want to have dental care in the northern part of the state, where there are too many people who are not getting dental care right now. They want it. We all want it. We're Americans. We're Wisconsinites. This is part of the American dream, and it's what brings us together. And on the other side of the aisle, you have a philosophy that is built on division, to give you a reason not to trust you, to give you a reason to hate you. That's not what I'm all about, and that's certainly not what the Democratic Party is all about. The Democratic Party is about bringing people together. Now, as any family does, we know we have our differences. We may have differences on how to reform education. But the point is, we're doing it because we know we have to improve education. And regardless of our ideas, we can have that honest exchange. And sometimes it's lively, sometimes it's bitter, but it's because we care about the kids. And we might disagree, But what's important is we're trying to make the situation better. We're trying to improve the lives of children. Or on energy. There are disagreements on how to deal with energy. We all agree that we have to change our policies so that we are not exporting $16 billion a year for coal and oil to states or countries that don't even like us. And we have to find ways to do a better job with renewable resources, with energy conservation, with energy efficiency. So we may have differences there, but we're going to come back to that issue. We're going to come back to that issue because we know it's important for the future of this state. We are not the party of no. We are the party that tries to get things done because we know that's what the people of this state expect. So we have our work cut out for us. And what I need from you is I need you to be out there for me, for Russ Feingold, for the members of the state legislature, for the members of Congress. I need you to be involved. You are the grassroots troops that will help us win this election in 2010. Make no mistake about it. You are the ones that are going to help us win these elections. I have many people say, how can I help? How can I help? I'll tell you flat out. Go to our webpage, open it up, download some nomination papers, and go to your friends and neighbors and ask them to sign. Nomination papers are the most underrated part of politics because it's person-to-person contact, and you have friends and neighbors that can help us, help every candidate. Let's get them involved. Let's get people involved in this election in 2010. The stakes are too high. We know what's happened in this country. For 8 years, the Republicans ran the White House. They drove the car into the ditch, and we're trying to get that car out of the ditch. And they're standing by the side of the road saying, get that car out of the ditch faster. But we know what happened if they'll come back and control the car. That car's going to stay in the ditch forever, and it's going to start leaking oil. And we cannot allow that to happen in this state. So here's what I've got to offer to you. I'll fight for jobs. I'll fight for jobs every day in this job. I'll do everything I can to create, retain, and attract jobs because that's what this state needs. We need more family-supporting jobs, and again, that is my priority. I'll stand with the working class and the middle class in this state to expand opportunities on farms, in small cities, in small towns, and large cities. I'll tackle the state's structural deficit. I'll preserve our most critical assets like education and health care and public safety. I'll protect our natural environment. And this is special. And if you travel around the state like I've done for the last 7 months, you see how special it is. We are so fortunate to live in this state, and I mean that. If you see the incredible natural resources we have, from the Mississippi River to Lake Superior to Lake Michigan to the hundreds of lakes and rivers and streams throughout the state that allow our hunters and people who fish and people who bike and people who run and snowmobile, we are blessed. And throughout the state, people have almost a spiritual understanding and attachment to our environment. And an understanding that we have an obligation to make sure that that is there for our children and our grandchildren. I want to be that governor. I want to be the one that makes sure that 50 years from now, people can sit in this room, leave here and fish and hunt and do whatever they want because we were good stewards for the environment. I'll fight for agriculture. I know I'm a city boy, but I can learn. I can learn, and I know that people on farms are hardworking, the hardest working people in this state. And I know that agriculture is a huge part of this state's economy, a huge part of this state's economy. And we have to work with our farmers to make sure that we do everything we can to allow them to support their families. And we are going to do everything we can to make sure that Wisconsin is once again the #1 state. We will be Wisconsin and America's dairyland. We will be #1 in dairy in this state. I'll fight to protect education. You heard from my wife. You talk about special interest groups. My wife will do everything she can to make sure that the kids in this state have a chance. That's her commitment in her life. And I'm going to do everything I can to help her so that our kids, not just my biological kids or your biological kids, but our kids, our society's children have a chance. That's what this is all about, giving all children in this society a chance. Because I served in Congress. I served in Congress, and I saw the leadership in Congress try to take away education programs. I saw it happen first time. And it was done by men, not men and women. It was done by men who were able to climb the ladder of opportunity in this country because of education. And they got to the top of society. They were on top of the building, and they tried to pull that ladder up behind them. We can't allow that to happen. As governor of this state, I will not allow that to happen. Now, I also know that some people like to have ideological wars. They don't care if anything gets done. It's all about ideology. That's not who I am. That's not what this state should be all about. We're talking about real people and finding solutions so that real people can go on with their lives. So if you're looking for an ideological battle, go to the other side. Go to the other side. If you're looking for things to get done, if you're looking forward to moving this state forward, stay here. Stay here and work with us. Because if there's anything you learn as mayor, it's all about getting things done. And this time in our state's history, it's too serious a time. This is not the time for those ideological wars. It's a time to create jobs, to give people hope, to solve our structural deficit, to make sure our kids have education, to make sure we have good health care. That's what this is about right now. And I'll treat you with respect. I'm not going to talk down to you. Anybody who knows me throughout my career knows that I've never been someone who tries to make myself look big by making someone else look small. That's not who I am. That's not who I'll ever be. And we will offer real solutions to real problems. Again, we know that this is a difficult time. We know it's a difficult time, and that's why we need some mature leadership, some adult supervision to move this state forward. That will happen with your help. Thank you very, very much. Let's go out there and let's win in 2010. Thank you very, very much.